So if you look at this map of Singapore, we call this a blue map, you will see that the blue comes from our, believe it or not, 32 rivers, 17 reservoirs, and 8,000 kilometers of waterways. So we ought to be a Venice, right? If all this blue is a reality. But we are not quite that, because much of the blue, thanks to engineers like me, I was trained in civil engineering, so I know all about this. Most of the blue today are ugly concrete drains and canals. So making this blue a reality, to try and renaturalize, if you like, our monsoon drains and canals, that was the vision of the URA in the 80s. I think the idea really came from Mr. Lim Hoon Kiang, who was then a deputy sec in the Ministry of National Development. And I was in URA and M&D, so we got URA to set up a water bodies design panel, which was chaired by Dr. Liu Taiker, and Wong Kai Eng, I don't know whether he's here today, was the secretary. So it was a whole of government project involving people like Yap King Guan, Mo Wang Hee from Ministry of Environment, involving HDB, URA, and many others. I think one of our speakers, Bichu, was involved in those early days where we created projects, some very outstanding projects that most of you probably see sometimes, but don't even realize that these were really the forerunner ABC Waters projects. The Sungei Api Api in Tampines, which would have been a concrete monsoon drain, but thanks to the effort of this panel, it became a drain that was lined with mangroves. So today, if you go and see Sungei Api Api, which is in Tampines, you will see all the mangroves on both sides of this drain. So it looks like a river, actually. And then in Bukit Panjang, there was a stormwater pond that would have otherwise been a very concrete, utilitarian concrete stormwater pond built by PUB. I think that was designed to be a very nice lake integrated with Bukit Panjang town. So these were the pioneering ABC Waters projects. And URA subsequently captured all this in the master plan, which they call the Parks and Water Bodies Master Plan. So when I had the good fortune years later to head PUB, I discovered to my horror that despite the URA plan, the effort to continue to realize the blue map had petered out. And that was how we then started the ABC Waters program, which draws its inspiration from a very successful NParks program, the NParks Park Connector Network, which also had similar beginnings, few projects, but then they had a kind of a long-term, thoughtful master plan to try and slowly, create this island-wide network of park connectors. So the master plan envisaged the ABC Water Master Plan, which drew its inspiration from this blue map. We saw about 100 projects that could be undertaken over a 20-year period involving public agencies, the private sector, and the community. And we were fortunate that we got the support of the government, and in particular the Ministry of Finance, to agree that it is a worthwhile project to support.